On the morning of Monday, February 26, 2024, 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers was reported missing by his mother, Katie Proudfoot. Depending on what reports you believe, Sebastian, who is on the spectrum, was either last seen at his Hendersonville, Tennessee home or in the area of Stafford Court, which is the street that he lives on with his mother, Katie, and his stepfather, Chris Proudfoot. There have been no credible sightings of Sebastian since that day, and we are now fast approaching the 1-year mark in this mysterious case. It turns out that the missing posters that stated Sebastian Rogers was last seen on Monday, February 26 were wrong. Per a newly leaked email by the Sumner County Sheriff's Office's lead detective on the case, the dates of when Sebastian was last seen alive and when he was reported missing may have gotten mixed up. The email said, quote, "As far as the flyer, that's a Tennessee Bureau of Investigation Public Information Officer question. But I'll say the last seen date and the date when it was reported date may have gotten mixed up in the beginning and just has never been changed." End quote. Again, this email is from the lead detective on the Sebastian Rogers case from the Sumner County Sheriff's Office in Tennessee. If we are to believe the email, then Sebastian's last proof of life was on Sunday, February 25th, 2024. Whether it was at the Texas Roadhouse restaurant or in the grainy footage of a figure taking the garbage down the driveway at the Proudfoot home. And therefore, Monday, February 26th is strictly the day when Katie reported Sebastian missing. It's pretty sloppy that we are only just now hearing that the posters stating that Sebastian was last seen on Monday, February 26th, had a clerical error on them, and they should have said he was last seen on Sunday, February 25th. That rather large mistake has led to so much unnecessary speculation. Why didn't law enforcement correct that error from the beginning? Were they simply being lazy? Did they not want to cop to a clerical error? It's a pretty significant date to get right when there's a missing child. Actually, it's inexcusable. I also want to know why Katie and Chris Proudfoot and Seth Rogers haven't clarified that information either. They must have known when he was last seen, and I'm assuming they could have asked the police which date was correct and if they knew something that they didn't know. Either way, that information should have been clarified, and the parent of a missing child who really wants all the information to be correct would have made sure to make that correction publicly. We know that Sebastian was clearly alive in the footage from the Texas Roadhouse restaurant, where he dined with his mother on Sunday evening. As for Monday, February 26th, that's when Sebastian was reported missing. Therefore, Sebastian was not seen alive on Monday. Let's also talk today about the Texas Roadhouse video footage. I've been watching and re-watching that, trying to see if anything new stands out to me. I noticed that Sebastian walks on his toes with his heels up. He's also a tad pigeon-toed. I did a little research and discovered that both of these are associated with autism spectrum disorder, which we know Sebastian has. In fact, studies show that 20% of children with autism exhibit pigeon toes. Walking on his toes and also being slightly pigeon-toed makes Sebastian's gait very distinctive. I'm hoping that law enforcement can compare Sebastian's gait to the gait of both the image of the person captured on security camera footage, taking the garbage to the end of the Proudfoot's driveway on Sunday night, and also the alleged grainy footage of a lone person walking on Sebastian's street in the early morning hours of Monday, February 26th. Private investigator Steve Fisher of SF Investigates told us about this latter footage, the one of a person walking on the street. Maybe Sebastian's very distinctive gait will help clarify if one or both of those figures are him or someone else. Sebastian's distinctive gait may also help identify him if he was indeed abducted and taken somewhere. and if he's still alive. I also noticed how fidgety Sebastian is while he's sitting at the booth at the Texas Roadhouse. He seems to be in constant motion. I read that fidgeting is a form of self-stimulating behavior that is common with autistic people. It's called stimming for short. The stimming movements help them feel calm and also help them cope with anxiety, as well as regulating their sensory input. So I wonder if Sebastian was feeling anxious when he was at the restaurant that evening. He also isn't smiling. There's no animation to him. And he's not talking with his mother to any great degree. Katie Proudfoot also doesn't seem to smile. She seems wrapped up in her own thoughts. There's so little, if any, emotional warmth between Sebastian and his mother. Sebastian also appears to follow his mother's lead. To me, he doesn't seem confident. He waits for his mom's cues, even when getting out of the car. This could indicate that he's not the type of child who would run away of his own accord in the middle of the night. And I can't help but compare the unsmiling face Sebastian illustrates that night with the very silly, smiling face of Sebastian where he's talking about green tea. Why was Sebastian so serious while out for his last supper? And why did his mother, Katie, take 2 snaps of him while they were sitting there? It's odd behavior because she doesn't apparently say to him, "Hey, Sebastian, smile," before she takes the photos. All in all, it's very odd behavior, in my opinion. That's all for the moment. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time on Bed Crime Stories.